Well, good morning. Welcome back. Today I would like to share with you what I have entitled The New Orthodoxy, how secularism became a faith and why the right brain holds the cure. A low hum runs beneath modern life, not a crisis of productivity or progress, but of perception. In our quest to master the material, something vital has slipped through our fingers. Reverence, meaning, soul. Carl Jung, Martin Buber, and Iain McGilchrist all sensed the same fracture, a widening rift between intellect and intuition, data and depth, control and connection. This essay contends that secularism, once a promise of neutrality, has hardened into a faith of its own, and that healing lies in reclaiming the right brain's way of knowing, intuitive, relational, and alive to mystery. The unspoken creed of secularism. Secularism presents itself as absence, freedom from dogma, metaphysics, or belief. But beneath its neutral sheen lies an unacknowledged creed, one that shapes what we call rational, what we call real, and what we choose to ignore. Public life mirrors this hidden faith. Prayer is removed from school. Mindfulness is scrubbed of spirit to make it evidence-based. All done in the name of fairness. But behind these motives are assumptions that autonomy trumps communion, that meaning must be measurable, that mystery is an indulgence. Secularism isn't the absence of faith. It's faith in a different God, control, clarity, the quantifiable. The new orthodoxy reveres what can be proven, graphed, and optimized. But in its devotion to the literal, it grows blind to the symbolic, to the very things that make us human. Story, ritual, awe. The triumph of the left brain. This cultural drift mirrors a neurological one. As Iain McGilchrist shows, our brain's hemispheres offer not just different functions, but different worldviews. The left hemisphere dissects, categorizes, calculates. The right feels, connects, intuits. In a healthy mind, the right hemisphere leads. It holds the whole. The left handles the parts. But modernity has crowned the left king. It sees the world not as something to behold, but something to control. We see it everywhere, in education's obsession with metrics, in medicine's reduction of persons to data points, in tech that can track our steps, but not our sorrow. McGilchrist puts it simply. We've become brilliant at what doesn't matter and clumsy at what does. From thou to it. Martin Buber described two ways of relating, I and thou, and I and it. The first meets others in presence. The second objectifies. Today, I and it reigns. We optimize relationships, brand identities, measure inner lives. Even sacred practices become tools of productivity. Meditation sold as stress relief. Gratitude journals pitched as performance hacks. Carl Jung warned that without sacred symbols to orient the soul, we become fragmented, actors in our own lives, performing roles we no longer inhabit. The epidemics of burnout, anxiety, and loneliness aren't anomalies. They're symptoms of a culture estranged from depth. The right brain as a healer. The solution isn't to discard reason, but to rebalance our knowing. The right brain doesn't negate logic. It situates it within beauty, context, and meaning. It sees the soul behind the face, the story within the data. To reclaim this mode is not mystical. It is necessary. Rachel Carson showed us how wonder can live inside rigor. She wrote science with the voice of a poet, and it changed the world. We need more of this. Ritual, poetry, stillness, not as luxuries, but as essential practices. The right brain remembers what the left forgets. that life is not just a problem to solve, but a mystery to live. Small acts of resistance and renewal. The shift won't come from institutions. It begins in gestures, small, quiet, sacred. Listen without rehearsing your reply. Light a candle at dinner. Let it mark a pause in time. Read a poem aloud. Feel it. Don't dissect it. Gaze at a tree or a face, not to label but to behold. Speak of soul, of mystery, without flinching. Walk without a route. Let the body lead. Treat time as presence, not currency. Let slowness teach you. These are not aesthetic indulgences. They are spiritual muscles. They train us in I and thou perception, in the right brain's patient, reverent gaze. In conclusion, a world re-enchanted. Secularism was born to protect us from tyranny and superstition, but unexamined, it becomes a tyranny of its own, flattened experience, exiling the sacred. We don't need to return to old dogmas. We need to rediscover a deeper kind of knowing. To heal is to re-enchant, to see the world not as a machine, but as a mystery, not as a system to optimize, but as a poem to inhabit. Imagine a morning where your first thought is a question of awe, not efficiency. Begin there. A breath, a look, a quiet reverence. What might change if we saw life through the lens of control? What might change if we saw life not through the lens of control, but through the gaze of thou? So thank you for your time, and I appreciate your ears.